Picture this. In 2018, Chevrolet sold more than 640,000 cars in China. Fast forward to 2024, and that number has cratered to just 52,774. That's not a simple sales dip, it's a nosedive off a cliff. And here's the kicker. While Chevrolet is shrinking, local Chinese brands, many you might not even recognize, are surging to global dominance, all thanks to a tidal wave of electric vehicle innovation. What happened? How did one of America's most iconic car brands wind up on the ropes in the world's largest auto market? More importantly, what does this showdown reveal about the future of the global auto industry and the new rules of competition in a tech-driven era? Welcome to the front line of the world's fastest auto revolution, where ancient business empires are collapsing overnight, local upstarts are rewriting the playbook, and every misstep can mean corporate extinction. To understand Chevrolet's nightmare in China, we need to zoom out and look at the Chinese auto market's breathtaking transformation. For decades, Western automakers, General Motors, Ford, Volkswagen, were the heavyweights, riding the wave of foreign prestige and engineering know-how. Chinese consumers once saw foreign brands as luxury status symbols, superior by virtue of their Western origins. But in the last 5 years, that narrative has flipped almost overnight. Today, more than half of all new cars sold in China are electrified, plug-ins or full battery electrics. Just let that sink in. While the world debates if and when electrification will happen, China's already racing laps around the competition. The numbers are staggering. BYD, a brand hardly known outside Asia a decade ago, is now the third best-selling auto brand worldwide. Their new hybrid model, the Qin LDMI, racked up over 20,000 pre-sale orders in just 1 week. Tesla might still grab headlines, but in China, it's a local hero story playing out on epic scale. And here's the twist. Legacy brands, Chevrolet among them, got caught flat-footed. As electric cars started to dominate, these giants were still pushing fuel-efficient gasoline models, updating designs, but barely dipping their toes into real EV innovation. The result? A catastrophic drop in relevance. In just 5 years, Chevrolet's sales in China have plummeted by over 90%. Compare that with the stampede of Chinese consumers toward cars packed with the latest tech. Voice assistants, autonomous driving systems, lightning-fast charging. Today's hottest cars in China aren't defined by European luxury or Detroit steel, but by connectivity, smart features, and seamless tech integration. What drove this seismic shift? It's a perfect storm of tech, policy, and consumer culture. Starting with government nudges, China's cities began offering jaw-dropping incentives for EV buyers. Just look at Shanghai, a $1,400 cash subsidy if you switch from a gasoline car to an EV, plus expedited number plates and tax breaks. Charging infrastructure expanded at warp speed. Everywhere you look, battery swap stations pop up next to traditional gas pumps. Ultra-fast chargers stretch along highways, making range anxiety a relic of the past. Then came the domestic tech race. While Western companies were content to rely on their reputations, China's EV upstarts and tech giants dove headfirst into the future. Xpeng's XNGP autonomous driving now works in over 200 cities. BYD and NIO churn out software updates like smartphone companies, adding new features long after a car leaves the dealership. It's this culture of hyper-innovation, new cars, new tech, new ideas every month, that's made the market so brutally unforgiving to slow movers. Listen to Qi Dongshu, head of the China Passenger Car Association. The NEV market in China is driven by technological innovation and strong consumer demand. It's not just about switching from gasoline to electric. Chinese consumers want cars that feel like rolling smartphones, intelligent, responsive, and deeply personalized. That puts foreign automakers in a bind. Tu Lei, founder of Sino Auto Insights, put it bluntly, Chinese EV buyers prioritize smart features and connectivity over brand heritage. If you can't deliver the wow factor, you're invisible. For Chevrolet, this reality has been merciless. Each quarter brought more bad news. After decent sales through the 2010s, by 2023, Chevy was barely hanging on. In 2024, their Chinese sales evaporated to under 53,000. Annualized, that's just 1/12 of their 2018 peak. This isn't just a tough year, it's existential collapse. Rumors swirled of a withdrawal. SAIC GM, the local joint venture, officially denied that Chevrolet would abandon China, with general manager Liu Xiao calling talk of an exit fake news and promising not to give up. But in the same breath, Insiders whispered that while Chevy wouldn't give up on existing users, there would likely be a halt to new Chevrolet sales, at least for traditional gasoline models. What's missed in those PR statements is a much deeper, more uncomfortable truth. Chevrolet and other Western brands may never catch up, not unless they completely reinvent both their products and their business models for China's hyper-competitive, tech-obsessed market. The days of rebadging a generic global model and expecting Chinese buyers to swoon are over. Expert after expert is ringing the alarm. Bill Russo, CEO of Automobility Limited, is unequivocal. Foreign automakers must embrace a China-for-China strategy to succeed. Translation: retool your R&D, localize your supply chains, build cars from the ground up to match Chinese tastes and digital lifestyles, or prepare to disappear. Meanwhile, domestic giants like BYD, NIO, and XPeng are not just innovating, they're setting the pace for the entire global industry. Battery tech is advancing so quickly that a car launched last year can feel ancient. Features like in-car karaoke bars, AI-powered parking, and full-scenario autonomous driving are now table stakes. As Yale Zhang of Automotive Foresight warns, localization of R&D and supply chains is crucial for foreign automakers. By now, you might be thinking, could Chevrolet have seen this coming? Should they have pivoted harder, invested more in Chinese design and engineering, or cut prices to compete? It's easy to point fingers in hindsight, but this is a cutthroat market unlike any other. Chinese brands move at breakneck speed, iterate relentlessly, and are unafraid to cannibalize their own old products if it means staying ahead. And while the government did help with incentives and building infrastructure, the competition increasingly comes from pure market forces, savvy consumers, relentless tech cycles, and startups willing to burn money for market share. In this new environment, even giants lose their footing. Western automakers need to offer compelling EVs at competitive price points, says Michael Dunn, CEO of ZozoGo. Yet price isn't enough. If your EV feels like a dull, reskinned gas car, you're doomed. So what does Chevrolet do now? Do they double down and try to re-enter the race, risking billions with no guarantee of success? Or do they retreat entirely, focusing on other regions while China slowly slips out of reach forever? The stakes couldn't be higher, not just for them, but for every foreign carmaker watching this drama unfold. At the heart of this conflict lies a fundamental question. Can legacy automakers reinvent themselves quickly enough to survive China's breakneck tech revolution? Or are they destined to become afterthoughts in the new global order? As whispers of Chevrolet's impending withdrawal hang in the air, the next chapter is anything but certain. Will this be the sad end of an American legend's China dream, or the beginning of a radical transformation that will shake the entire auto industry to its core? And, as Chinese brands grow ever bolder and more sophisticated, does the world risk missing out on the real innovations now emerging from Shanghai and Shenzhen, not Detroit or Stuttgart? In just a moment, we'll dive deeper into the strategies foreign automakers could take, the hidden challenges they face, and the surprising moves that might yet turn the tide. But as the dust settles on Chevrolet's collapse, one thing is clear. In the race to define the car of the future, nobody is safe from disruption. But what happens next? With Chevrolet's downfall making headlines, the automotive world now faces a crossroads, one paved not just with electric vehicles, but with a fundamentally new DNA for the car industry. What are the consequences of this seismic shift in China, and how might it echo across the globe? Let's dive deeper into what the future could hold, both the risks for legacy automakers and the opportunities for the boldest players. In the most likely scenario, Chinese EV brands like BYD, XPeng, NIO, and others continue their meteoric rise, not just at home, but internationally. China's near 50% NEV penetration rate isn't just a number, it's a warning sign flashing in bright neon for every traditional automaker. As government incentives fuel consumer demand, Chinese tech integration keeps accelerating. Picture this: XPeng's XNGP self-driving system already navigates over 200 cities. Meanwhile, battery swapping and high-speed charging networks are erasing the last hurdles to mass EV adoption. If Western brands keep moving at their current pace, they risk being marginalized not just in China, but anywhere these homegrown powerhouses expand. In 2023, BYD became the third largest car brand in the world by sales. Their new models are attracting tens of thousands of pre-orders in days. Can legacy players like Chevrolet, Ford, or even Volkswagen truly compete with brands born and bred for EVs, built on a foundation of rapid software development, agile supply chains, and laser-focused consumer data? Or will they become relics, Memories of a time when foreign badges equaled status in China? Industry analyst Tu Lei put it bluntly. Chinese EV buyers prioritize smart features and connectivity over brand heritage. It isn't enough to slap a fancy logo on the hood. Today's Chinese consumer wants their car to be a tech hub, a mobile entertainment center, and an extension of their digital lifestyle. But how might this play out in practice? Let's explore a few future pathways. First, a scenario of domestic domination. Chinese automakers, supercharged by technology and relentless pace, push foreign brands out of the market. Government incentives may taper off, but by then, the infrastructure and momentum are unstoppable. Imagine a future where, in just a few years, the top 10 best-selling cars in China are all domestic badges. No Chevrolet, no Ford, not even a whisper of Volkswagen. Instead, names like BYD, NIO, and Geely define global automotive trends, exporting their tech and their cars to the world. Second, collaboration, perhaps the only possible lifeline for many Western companies. Some may seek partnerships or joint ventures with Chinese giants. We see early signs, Volkswagen and Ford investing in local R&D centers, even joint manufacturing platforms aimed squarely at Chinese consumers. According to Bill Russo of Automobility Limited, foreign automakers must embrace a China for China strategy to survive. That means designing EVs for Chinese tastes, pricing them competitively, and embedding local tech at every step, from software to battery supply. The third scenario? A level playing field. Eventually, Chinese government subsidies for new EVs will decrease or vanish. On paper, this could give Western brands a fighting chance, as cost differences narrow. But by then, Chinese EV makers will likely have claimed such a massive head start in technology, scale, and brand loyalty that catching up will be a Herculean task. And if Chinese automakers begin to aggressively conquer international markets, Western legacy brands must compete on their home turf against cars that are smarter, cheaper, and more fun to drive. The scale of change is breathtaking, but under the surface a bigger story emerges. The very idea of what a car is and who can build the best one is up for grabs. What does all this mean for you, the viewer? Whether you're an auto enthusiast, an investor, a tech lover, or just someone curious about the changing world, these upheavals have real-life implications. First, as a consumer, the car market of tomorrow will offer more variety and more technology than ever before. In China and beyond, expect cars that are deeply connected, with software updates delivered over the air, voice assistants that actually work, and in some cases, self-driving features as a standard expectation. If you're shopping for your next car in the next few years, make sure you evaluate vehicles not just on their looks or badge, but on their technology stack, connectivity, and how well they play with your digital life. Old assumptions about brand loyalty or prestige may no longer serve you. What matters is how much you get for your money and how well your car fits your daily routine. For investors and industry watchers, keep your eyes trained on mobility startups, battery technology leaders, and infrastructure companies, especially those with a China story. Whether you're looking at BYD, NIO, CATL, or even the battery-swapping innovators, the companies thriving in China are likely to shape global trends. The meteoric rise of these local brands is a signal. Invest in agility, not legacy. Automakers and related businesses must take this as a wake-up call. Yale Zhang of Automotive Foresight puts it clearly. Localization of R&D and supply chains is crucial for foreign automakers. Western companies must embed themselves in the local culture, build cars for Chinese consumers, not just export global models, and hire talent that thinks with a China-first mentality. The lesson? It's no longer enough to build a great car. You need to build the right car for the right consumer at the right moment. And for technology enthusiasts, China's EV revolution shows the breathtaking potential of merging software and hardware at scale. With features like 5G connectivity, immersive infotainment, and rapid autonomous driving rollouts, China is testing the limits of what's possible with mobility. If you want a glimpse into the future of driving, whether it's robo-taxis, wireless charging highways, or cars that feel like smartphones, look to China first. All of these lessons point to one core truth. The global automotive hierarchy is already being rewritten. The question is not just whether legacy automakers can survive in China, but whether they can reinvent themselves deeply enough to stay relevant anywhere. So, to return to our key question, can legacy automakers pivot quickly enough to survive, or will China's EV revolution rewrite the hierarchy forever? The answer for most is brutally clear. Unless Western automakers invest massively in innovation, both in product and business model, and unless they embrace true local partnerships, most will continue to lose ground. Some may survive by becoming niche players or through collaboration, but the era of easy dominance is over. But here's the secret fact behind the headlines. While many Western automakers focus on defending market share, China's EV giants are already eyeing the next frontier, global expansion. That means the innovations shaking up Chinese streets today could utterly transform car ownership, driving habits, and even urban life in your own city tomorrow. The future of cars won't be decided in Detroit, Wolfsburg, or even Tokyo. It's being written right now in Shanghai, Shenzhen, and Chengdu. So here's your call to action. Pay attention to the brands and technologies that are thriving in China today. If you're shopping for a new car, don't ignore rising Chinese brands just because they're unfamiliar. Research their features, test their tech, and see how they stack up. If you're an investor, look where the innovation is most intense and be ready to move fast. And if you're passionate about the industry, demand more from your local automakers. Ask them, are you ready for a world where the center of automotive gravity has shifted east? Because the race has already started, and the finish line is closer than anyone imagined. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new, or if this story about Chevrolet's fall opened your eyes to the new reality of the global auto industry, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the future of technology and business. What do you think?